it starts to go 0, 1, 2, and it doesn't. It's like 30 seconds after that. Um, okay, so this video is going to be a discussion of sorts. I'm not going to bring up the person who I've gotten quite a lot of views from. This is not going to be a channel all about that person. I want to elaborate on all sorts of things, but when I had this channel before, my main goal was, and pretty much still is, really promoting that what you put in and around your body matters in your lifestyle matters as far as health physically and mentally. I'll get into my own issues and a lot more personal things later. This is going to be a quick video about how I feel about the judgment of Christians. And the comment section of the video, the long video I did, really shows like what I've experienced my whole life, basically, which is most people that consider themselves Christians, most people, period, are good people. If most people weren't good to a certain extent, we'd all be gone to hell in a handbasket already by now, right? Um, but most people want to be good. Most people just want to do right by their family and, stay in their lane. And that's part of the problem now, too. Honestly, I'm going all over the place, but it's only part of our evolution to judge people. It is hardwired into us. If we didn't judge people, if we didn't judge animals in the wilderness when we were living in caves, we wouldn't have survived. And those same mechanisms still work and function for good reason today. I've seen just such a stark contrast between two kinds of Christians. And I know this sounds so extremely judgmental, but I want to be the voice. I want to gain, oh gosh, gain. I want to build a following that are for people on the same path as me. I am not trying to make anybody go down this path. That makes sense. So there's two kinds of Christians. The people who are what you would call the good Christians, like, I'm sorry, I said I wasn't going to mention him. The person that everybody gravitates towards. It is the people that love God like a child and therefore love others like a child. Now, do children judge? Yeah, they do actually, but they only judge what we teach them to, besides things that like literally physically hurt them and harm them and hurt their feelings. You know what I mean? Like they will treat everybody the same until we teach them why they shouldn't treat everybody the same. And there's the good Christians, then there are these other Christians. I don't want to call them bad. I don't want to say that because that's so mean. It's just the people that don't act like the quote unquote good Christians that people gravitate towards. They say, oh, they're so positive and they just make me feel good about myself. It's the people who automatically point the finger. Hi, Taylor. No, if he did, I do not know anything about that. I really hope that's not true. And I think we would probably know if it was. Um, uh, hey, Nicholas. Um, no, Mark, I do not. I used to. It's I did a few lives horizontally, and I don't know if I didn't see the chat, just so anybody knows that like might have been in another live. I'm gonna keep doing them like this so I can actually see the chat. If my eyes look bloodshot, I have really dry contact lenses right now. I know I kind of thought my eyes look bloodshot, if that's what you were asking. Um, yeah, probably Taylor. So there's good Christians that love people like Jesus did and Jesus promoted. And there's the people that judge people a lot and make you feel bad about yourself. And like I said, I don't want to call them the bad Christians. They're just the other Christians. That's why I call them the others. And it seems to me where I'm at right now, my location, there's so many people are so good. And I love that. I was in a small town in Indiana where it was like everything was a clique. As far if you didn't go to a church, then you didn't exist to most people in that town. Totally different than the mentality here. And so the people that do not love God like a child would stay out of judging the judgment if they did love God like a child, because as I said, children only judge what is harmful. And that was what my message was trying to, convey, was just to help people not be harmed financially, pretty much at this point. I'm not going to please many Christians. Notice how I never called myself a Christian. I said I'm building a relationship with God and with Jesus. I am learning. It is a long process, and I'm not going to just say things that I don't feel within my heart, if that makes any sense. No, I do not, Nicholas. I speak a little bit of Spanish and English. Oh, thank you, Taylor. Yes, I made an update because I felt like there should be record. It was really bothering me. It was really bothering me. Like every time my husband walked in the room, I'd be like, I can't believe he did that. And then when I saw the videos were taken down, it just, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I really do believe this was all meant to happen. And like I said, it's not going to be a channel revolving around that person. But I am really grateful for the comments and a lot of the subscribers that I have gotten today and yesterday. So the older I get, the more truth I find in the Bible, the more I lean on it, and the more I want to get to know Jesus. That's just honest. That's the truth. I prayed and waited for my moment that I thought would be my testimony. Like so many people have these beautiful testimonies where they were in a bad place usually and asked for God or prayed for God, and God came to them, or Jesus. And that was just something I felt like I couldn't even be a real Christian unless I had a testimony like that, which is totally me and my fault. But it's just, I finally realized in the past few years, well, that may never happen. I might not ever have that testimony, that moment where I know God is speaking to me. I feel that I have God in my life every day. When I stop focusing on that and really try to be thankful, thank God for every single thing. And I just know there's a God. I just know with all my heart. I haven't experienced everything I've experienced without good reason. And so as a woman on this path, I was raised to be very assertive, to know in this time and place, I have more freedom than most women did before me, and I need to take advantage of that. Probably disappointed half my family becoming a mother at the age of 19 and not continuing college. I did start college when I was 16 years old. And I found now that I'm going on 40, like no matter what, as women, we cannot win. No matter what we do with our lives, we cannot win. If we have kids, if we don't, men don't get judged like that. There's no derogatory nicknames for men that don't have kids. They get called bachelors. They don't get called old maid or a hag. Um, and where I'm going with this is it's not my place to know exactly what is in somebody's heart, but if I feel like somebody has done some absolutely awful things and they say they're sorry and then they're present with I'm sorry. See, I'm talking about it a little bit more than I'd like to. Basically, men can get away with so much. And I had a few comments that are saying, watch yourself, you might be eating your words. Well, anybody that's been a subscriber of mine for several years, like about 100 of you were, you might remember some of my previous videos, which I do intend on touching upon again. I do have a past. I have always been very open with it. And I would venture to say, if these people knew about my past, they wouldn't give me as much grace is they gave somebody who has fornicated with animals, which it just says a lot. There's the Jezebel spirit that's not present in men, even though it is. You know what I mean? It's just conveyed as this is something women are bad, women need to be punished. Once a always a and it's like I understand, I acknowledge, I have a chip on my shoulder about it, but I know it's not only my only experience. I know so many people have gone through life like this, and I'll give you an example of something that like really hurt my heart at the time. In sixth grade, I believe the teacher went around the classroom first day of school and said, tell me where you go to church to everybody. I was literally the only kid that didn't go to church. Mind you, I did go to church a lot. I went to every church in that town basically because I had so many Christian friends who invited me, who were the good Christians, who didn't make me feel horrible for not going to church. They just invited me to their church and I went. And those kids and their parents were great. And I just wonder how people feel that do point the finger if they hear somebody is like, I've grown up with people like you pointing the finger, do they just justify it by the scripture? And it's sad to me that so many people are going to be pushed away because of people like that. Because as I said, I see so much truth in the Bible, especially what is going on right now. And men cause most violent crime in the world. I am definitely not a man hater. I have 3 sons. I have a husband I've been married to for almost 15 years. I love dearly. Thank you, Taylor. we are all a little too hard on ourselves probably, right? Um, I know good men exist, but it it's there's too far and too few between. Um, they commit most violent acts. Did you know that the number one cause of death for a pregnant female is the man who got her pregnant? The number one reason pregnant females in the US pass away is because of a man putting his hands on her or whatever. Number one cause of death for a woman carrying a man's baby is him. Think about that. We've we're all so lost. We as a society, we're responsible together and we're in this together, unfortunately. And the biggest threat to a child is a man who isn't their dad in the home. I'm tired of seeing predators who are mostly male. I'm tired of seeing it not be acknowledged that there's a serious problem with femicide right now. I don't know if you've heard some of these cases. There was a case in India where a doctor was brutally assaulted until she passed away. Just brutal, brutal attacks. And I feel like there's been a lot of divide and conquer. And I, as a woman, I can't sit here and say I am okay with the fact that, let's take, for instance, the Seventh day Adventist Church will not allow women to be leaders of a church. But the book that is second to the Bible for them, it's, I actually have it right here. The Great Controversy. The book that is second to the Bible for Seventh day Adventists was written by a woman in the mid 1800s. She was good enough to write your literature for you, but she's not, a woman can't be good enough to lead a church. So I'm going to end it on this. There's some topics, like, I'm not always going to be talking about things that are so negative. Personally, I believe there's possibly books, scriptures from the Bible that have been lost. I think that a lot has been manipulated. I believe that the Sumerian tablets. Okay, if I ever did have a like aha moment, I did feel something when I heard this information. Oldest known tablets, cuneiform in the world, says we go in cycles. We start very female minded and you get like mixed, and then towards the end of the cycle it is male minded, and it described like everything that's going on right now. And we don't treat our bodies as precious, that we monetize sex, and greed and the love of money literally causes the world to implode upon itself because it's just ruining everything. So uh, I'm going to go ahead and end this because that's what I wanted to talk about. I know I'm not the only person that's been judged so much by people who tell you not to judge people. And this is something I'd like to open up for discussion. If you want, leave a comment, let me know about a time it happened to you or how you combat it when it does happen. Are you somebody like me that a lot of Christians might consider like a fair weather Christian who's like dipping your toe in and out? Are you interested in Bible studying, but you feel like since you didn't grow up in it and you aren't such a part of it to begin with, it's hard for you to? I'd really like to hear from you. Thank you for watching this.